Hello my friends, it's Danny, and today I am going to show you how to make the most addictive and satisfying oatmeal recipe.
That is so good.
Now, if you've been watching for a while, you know that I really like adding egg whites to my morning oats. Not only does it make your oatmeal super fluffy and super creamy, but it adds some volume and some protein to the oatmeal as well, which I find really helps me to feel more satiated and satisfied. So I have now discovered yet another fun hack to add even more volume and more nutrients to my bowl of oatmeal in the morning, and that is by stirring in some cauliflower rice. I'm telling you, this is the most delicious bowl of oatmeal you will ever eat, and you 100% cannot taste the cauliflower, although it does add a really great texture to the oatmeal. So if you enjoy a nice big bowl of oatmeal in the morning, and you also get a little bit excited about working vegetables into your breakfast, you are going to love this recipe. Now, you can make this either on the stovetop or in the microwave. I 99% of the time make it in the microwave. That is my go-to technique. I think it comes out best that way, but I am absolutely going to show you both techniques. And keep in mind, this makes one serving. It's a huge bowl, but it's one serving, and you can easily scale that up if you have more mouths to feed. Here's all you need. 1/3 cup of good old-fashioned rolled oatmeal, 3/4 cup of water. If you wanted to make your oatmeal even more creamy, you could sub in some milk here. A pinch of salt, just the tiniest bit, but it really makes a difference. 1 cup of cauliflower rice. I always buy it frozen at the grocery store and just let it defrost on the counter. And 1/2 cup of liquid egg whites, which I also buy pre-separated in a container just like this. And then totally optional, but I almost always add it to my oatmeal, 1 scoop of your favorite vanilla protein powder, and I'll link to my favorites down in the description box below. This adds really great flavor, and it's an easy way to get a little more protein in your diet if that's something you're trying to do. Then of course you're gonna want a little bit of cinnamon and whatever toppings you love to put on top of your oatmeal. I'm going with some peanut butter, some fresh strawberries, and some blueberries. Okay, so we are gonna start with the microwave method because it's my personal favorite, and then I will show you how to do this on the stovetop. So whenever I make oats in my microwave, I like to use a large spouted cup like I have here, and then into that cup goes 1/3 cup of rolled oats and my water along with a pinch of salt. Give that a quick stir, and then I'll pop that into the microwave for 1 minute. Keep in mind, all microwaves vary, so you may have to play with this as you develop your own rhythm at home, but this is the general blueprint. And then in goes the cauliflower rice, and I'm gonna pop this back in my microwave anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes. This is really gonna depend on how cold your cauliflower rice is. If you're taking it straight from the freezer, it's gonna take a little extra time. If it's defrosted a bit, it may only take a minute or so. The key here is that you want the cauliflower rice and the oats to warm up, but you don't want it to be super duper hot, because if it's super duper hot, the egg whites are gonna scramble, and that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for creamy, fluffy deliciousness. So it comes out, I give it a stir, make sure that it's not bubbling or steaming, okay? Then slowly add in your egg whites and stir that really, really well. This is gonna go back in the microwave for 1 to 2 minutes. I usually start with a minute, then I will check it, give it a stir, go back for another 30 seconds, and that gets me right where I want it. You will see that when the oatmeal is done, it's going to almost have doubled in size. It's super, super fluffy and super, super creamy. It's almost like a souffle. That is what the egg whites do to this oatmeal. It's so good. Now from here, this is where you get to play with your stir-ins. Again, I'm gonna add in 1 scoop of protein powder with a little bit of cinnamon, and I stir that right into the bowl. If you weren't gonna do any protein powder, maybe you wanna do a little bit of maple syrup or honey, or just something to sweeten it if that's the way you enjoy your oatmeal. Transfer it into your favorite bowl, and then top with your favorite toppings. Mine is a little bit of peanut butter and some fresh berries, and of course, 1 more hit of cinnamon over the top. So yummy. It's thick, it's creamy, it's fluffy, and it's really rich in protein, vegetables, and good healthy carbs.
That is so good. You really cannot taste the flavor of the cauliflower, but what you do get is the texture, and what it reminds me of is the texture of steel cut oats. So good. Now, for those of you who want to make this recipe on the stovetop, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna grab a small pot. In goes your oatmeal, your water, and a pinch of salt.
give that a stir, and then let that cook for a couple of minutes over a very low heat. You really want to be patient with this, okay? So as it starts to warm up, you can see that the oats have softened a little bit. In goes that riced cauliflower. Give that a stir and let this cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. The goal is for the cauliflower to warm through, but again, we don't want this to get super, super hot. So it's gonna look almost cloudy. Once the oats and the cauliflower are warm, not simmering, not boiling, not super hot, you're gonna slowly add in those egg whites. And again, I recommend you go extra cautious here. Keep that heat nice and low. Stir those egg whites in, give them a really, really good stir, and then let this cook anywhere between 4 to 5 minutes over a very low heat. You are gonna know that it's done because you're gonna see that the oatmeal gets almost opaque and really rich and thick and creamy. And again, it's going to nearly double in size. I just cannot emphasize enough that you really wanna do this over a low, slow heat, because if those egg whites scramble, the party is over. And then once this is done, you are yet again free to flavor your oatmeal as you please. I mean, this is a really great base for just about anything you love to add to your oatmeal. You could go sweet, you could go savory, whatever you love, I would love to hear about it. So come on down to the comments below and share your favorite way to gussy up your oatmeal. If you enjoyed this recipe, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anybody else you know who wants to make healthy eating easy. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Danny Spees, and I'll see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers! Because if the egg whites scramble, the whole party just goes away like that. Because if the egg whites scramble, it's like the party's over. No, don't like that. Plus, gussy up your oatmeal.